My name is Ken Moody, and I'm a member of the Mid-Hudson Anti-Slavery History Project group. The purpose of the group is very simple in one way. It's to do research about slavery and anti-slavery activities in the Mid-Hudson Valley.
Quakers were the first group in America to disavow slavery. And what that meant was that if you were Quaker, you couldn't own slaves. The Quakers believed strongly that we are all created in God's image, and consequently, you could not own another person.
Dr. Rebecca Edwards, who's on the history faculty at Vassar College, we were at her church, and her church was built by a group of abolitionists in Poughkeepsie just prior to the Civil War. And our conversations led to conversations with other people, and gradually we pulled together a group of interested people, and the group was formed in that manner.
We may think of people who were in slavery having escaped from the South, and that's certainly true, but the first people who escaped from slavery around here were escaping from slavery here in New York and New Jersey. In the 1830s, there was an anti-slavery society in Poughkeepsie. It was associated with the American Anti-Slavery Society that had been founded in Boston, and there were a number of people who were members of the Baptist Church and the Presbyterian churches here who were members of that association along with Quakers. It was an interracial society with African American and white members and men and women.
Quakers were very much involved with education and also with supporting what ultimately became a network that we think of as the Underground Railroad.
Wintry day is wild, hope lights with her undying gleam, the mother.
We have a steering committee of about 12 people that meet regularly, and when there are special projects, other people join those groups. For example, there's a group called the Anti-Slavery Singers.
We did a little research into music that was sung at anti-slavery conventions and rallies and meetings before the Civil War, and we found a really rich array of music. And then over the years that followed, we decided that we would like to sing more and more of that music, and we ended up getting some historic clothing from 1860, replica clothing to sing these pieces of music. They range from sort of patriotic songs to an array of hymns, and they even borrowed from minstrel music and other sources. So they used an array of musical styles, and they used these to bring the abolitionist music to the public. And many of them are very open critiques of America, including parodies of My Country 'Tis of Thee and other songs like that that convey this is a great country and this is a place of freedom, but we still have work to do.
The Singers got started shortly after the History Project did. The History Project began in 2006 to take part in the commemoration of the Amistad slave ship. And the Singers began shortly after that. It involved a group of people who already had some singing interests. Some people were already singing in choirs and church groups, and others involved in the History Project who were interested in singing the abolitionist and anti-slavery songs of this period.
Where the noise of insect stings, where the fever demon strews, poison with the falling dews.
The songs reflect the strong sentiment of those who were opposed to slavery in the United States at that time. It brought together an array of interests, both political and religious, secular interests, as well as the influence coming from freedmen in the North.
It is a spell of light and power, the watchword of
soul is he.
The anti-slavery movement was a reaction that of individuals and ultimately communities where those individuals lived, and that in turn was picked up by religious organizations.
Come wheel or roll, the world shall know we're free, we're free, we're free. The hands that hold the sword and purse ere long shall lose their prey, and they who blindly wrought the curse